Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for the Tier 1 boys to take to the Circuit of the Americas. That's right, you've got me tonight, that's Simba, and let's see what these boys can do. Tonight we are at the Circuit of the Americas, as I mentioned. It's a 3.426 mile circuit, comprised of 20 corners, and as some people may be aware, Lewis Hamilton is usually pretty good here. But never mind Lewis Hamilton. Tonight, I'm rubbing a lamp because I believe there's a genie about to pop out. My co-com for tonight, it's Rob Atwood. Good evening.
Good evening, you alright? How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah, a bit sweaty after that last race. I felt that was a little bit... It's a demanding, this circuit, isn't it? It really tests
It really is, yeah. It's like one minute you think it's going alright, then the next minute there's a car in front of you's pulled 3 seconds.
Well, exactly, and it's a track, as we'll see tonight, that just, it doesn't let off. There's about one big straight where I think you can switch off, but for the rest of the time you are cranking that wheel. You're cranking it all the way around this lap, and I hope the boys really give it some tonight.
So do I, yeah. Let's hope for a good race for us to watch anyway. And as you're a genie, you've popped out. Grant me the wish of a good race.
Fingers crossed. We had a really good one in Tier 2, only one safety car. Let's see if we can get 0 safety cars this race. I think it would be the first time this season, and it's lots of nice wide runoff areas here, so yeah, fingers crossed we can get that done.
Yeah, you don't generally get safety cars too often, because like you say, the walls are a mile away. There's a couple of pieces like turn 1 where there's a close wall and a bit in the final sector, but the rest of it's miles away. So hopefully nobody's going to end up in a wall tonight.
Yeah, it's quite forgiving in that sense, but in every other sense of the word, this track is demanding. It's loads of places where you've got blind apexes. It's very easy to lose it under traction. I know, double champions like Jay Sarge, he was struggling in practice because it's really hard to get on the throttle, particularly if you're running no traction control, which is what all these Tier 1 boys are doing. So
yep.
Yeah, let's see who can keep the power under control.
We've got Confetti Krieg on a lap. Do you want to run us through a lap of COTA?
2 seconds.
Oh, he's invalidated. Let's see who's next.
Pick another car for me.
Damalek.
Right. So he's just done turn 1, and then you're down into this long sweeping corner. It's fine, you can keep all the way on the accelerator. Now you're into this left-right, inspired by Maggots and Beckett's, but nowhere near as nice. You've got this really odd right hand, you've got to keep it all the way to the right, and then chuck it into the left there. Got those little orange sausage curbs, which are great guides. And you go right and left, very easy to lose it under power here. He's kept that nice and tidy through there. Right, now it's down, down, down. You're looking for about the 100-metre board break, about 70-50. There he goes. Hook the car in. A little bit wide, but he's kept it very nicely under traction there. Right, now it's pedal to the metal. DRS open, that little hand of God pushing you along, giving you that extra bit of speed that you desperately need. And you look for those brake boards on the right-hand side between about 100 there. He's braked down into there. Hook it in, then you're into this very tight technical section. You're into these 2 right-handers, which is more like 1 right-hander, as you sort of got to keep it very smooth through here. Odd lines you've got to take through here. Take it deep into this corner and then hook it in so you can get on the power into this really long right-hander. Now, are you brave enough to put the accelerator all the way down? He's lifting off slightly just to make sure that you don't lose the rear end. Then it's a blind left, so easy to invalidate through here, but he gets it just right. And then you're just looking for that brake board on the right-hand side. Tip it in, just missing the orange sausage curb. And then it's power down and across the line. And what's that time? That's an invalidated lap. So
yeah, unfortunately he did invalidate a few corners in, but we were on
that's okay.
It gave us a good guide of the lap. But Chris Bailey, a 1:35.9 for his first one on the board.
On mediums as well, as a sighter, I don't think I did that on softs. So once again, these boys proving that they're on another level.
Oh, they really are. Let's see what Jay Sarge can do. Kid Dynamite, 1:34.4.
That's just silly, isn't it?
Well, we saw some 1:34s in Tier 2, so I'm wondering if we'll get 1:33 out of the Tier 1s.
Well, yeah, it's quite... Oh, and there we go. I said Jay Sarge was struggling early. He's gone pole with a 1:34.2.
Oh, he's throwing the gauntlet out to Kid this time.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at Laurentier. He was lightning quick last week. in the qualifying. It's like the guy's an alien, he's from another planet.
It's always nice when you got these new drivers that come in, particularly Tier 1, and shake it up a bit. We've got those familiar names, you've got previous champions like J Sarge, like Kid Dynamite, but for somebody to come along first couple of races, and yeah, P4, yeah, one to watch out for, certainly.
Double X invalidated again, Ant's invalidated. I don't think anybody's actually on a valid one at the moment. Let's see who's the first out of the outlappers.
Yeah, this track is very demanding for penalties, particularly that little section we were talking about, which was like Silverstone through there. If you want to push it to the limit, you can, but you've got to take every bit of curb available, and it's so easy just to get one little thing wrong. You know how punishing these Codemasters track violations are, and yeah, it'll just ruin your lap really early on. At least
how punishing the curbs are.
Oh yeah.
That turn 1 curb bit me on the last lap.
There's so many elevation changes here as well. It's really easy to get the car very unstable, and that's how you lose the back end. So, yeah, consistency here will be just as important as outright speed.
Let's watch Herapelli's just starting his first lap. In the Red Bull, hoping to do a Max Verstappen, and I believe he got pole this time round.
Yeah, he did. That Red Bull's looking really good this year, and I think Larapel's Red Bull was looking on rails through that first corner. Somebody who really struggled through there to get down on the traction. He's mastered it perfectly. Taking those S's very well as well.
Yeah, I really struggled with the S's.
It's so hard. It's like the anti-Suzuka S's. That Suzuka S's, you can find a flow so easily through there. Every corner's a little bit different. You're playing with the throttle. You don't know whether to go up or down. It's a nightmare. For me, it's something I really struggled with as well. So, yeah, let's see how... These boys are different gravy, though, and that didn't seem like anything for Larapel. He was whizzing through there.
Yeah, he seems to be pretty quick at the moment. Just coming to end up long DRS straight, which... I believe the end of the second sector's coming up, so what's his time there? 1:03.4. Not sure where that compares, but I think it's pretty quick.
Yeah, he looks pretty quick so far, and considering this might be a sighter lap.
That Red Bull really does look on rails. It looks like the proper one where they just throw it into a corner and it sticks.
Yeah, and we were talking about like the difference between him and Damolek through that long right-hander. He had his foot all the way to the floor, absolutely certain, the confidence in the car that it would just stick. Let's see if he goes across the line in. Oh, yeah, it was a good lap.
That was very close to taking provisional pole on his first attempt.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. His teammates, I think he's backed out of that lap. The Bergen's invalidated. Confetti Krieg is just coming through the triple right-hander. I think that's 16, 17, 18, something like that. It's just coming into that final corner, so let's see what he can plant on the board. 16-0, that's quite a good sighter lap.
Yeah, definitely. I think we're going to see quite... As we've been in that section... with the left-right, that one based on Silverstone, it's so easy to be inconsistent through that sector because you're sort of always on the edge of invalidating or not, and you can the apexes are in such funny places. It's easy just to go a little bit too deep. So I think we will see quite a spread of the field tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I love the Suzuka S's and I quite like Baggett's and Beckett's, but I hate the S's on this track. Although I'm not a big fan of the Mexico S's either.
Yeah, the Mexico S is a kind of like that's another invalidation challenge, isn't it? But at least they don't go on for too long. I think here it's just about one corner too many, and particularly when it goes up and down, it's a good way to ruin your lap pretty early on.
Oh, it really is. I'm just on board with the man from Redcar in Cleveland. He's just coming into the triple right-hander, so we'll see what his time can be. I mean, he's been doing the... Oh, he just ran really wide there, but managed to keep it valid. He's been doing this no traction challenge for a while.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with what Redcar's been able to do. He's come a long way from the first few races that he ever did. And yeah, he's done what I've been able to do. He's taken all the assists off, and he's damn quick at it. So it's lovely to see him making a step up to Tier 1 this year. And yeah,
he was a voluntary to Tier 1 as well.
Yeah, he'll drive anything, anywhere. He just loves racing, and yeah, I've got real respect for the lad.
Because we were dropping the traction, we were actually struggling to get people into seats for Tier 1. And I knew he dropped all assists a season or so before, so I just said, look, do you want to go Tier 1? Are you up for the challenge? And he took it. Fair play to him. I mean, when I started, he was in Tier 3 with me. And we were teammates in Season 5. He was in the title battle, got promoted. And he's won a couple of races since.
I think he won France last year on the new game with no assists on. And yeah, once you've done that, once you're starting to win, you know that you're Tier 1 material. It takes a lot to win a race around here. Any race in MRC. It's 20 of you, there can only be one winner. It's very competitive. So yeah, that win in France as well was dominant. So yeah, it's great to see him in Tier 1 now.
It was a great win for him. Chatty Duck 133.6. Wow.
Quack quack, indeed. Look at that.
He's quacking quick.
He is, isn't he?
And we've got Kid Dynamite with a 33.7, Reese with a 33.9. The big boys are really coming out to play now.
Yeah, these times are coming down. It's not quite as sunny as our qualifying session, and it's quite cloudy overhead, so I do wonder if the track temperature is keeping them a little bit down from what they might be, but we've probably got one more run on the softs coming up from all these boys, and let's see if anybody can dip into the 1.35s maybe.
Laurentio's had a spin and lost his front wing. Let's see what Agoni's doing. He's just coming through the terror S's, as I'm going to call them. But yeah, I agree. There's like one, maybe two corners too many in there.
Yeah.
When it gets to the back end and they get really tight, it's like, why?
It's really tight, elevation change, and then it's sort of into that weird blind. You got another blind corner. There's lots of blind corners around here where you just, you just got to put your faith. You got to we're all racing without the racing line. That's one of the things we insist on in MRC. So you've really got to know the track, because otherwise you're going to find yourself out of position, out of traction, and yeah, you'll just lose a hell of a lot of time.
Let's see what he can do. Is nearly 8/10 up, so it could be a good lap for him. Oh!
Whoa! And there we go.
I think I spoke a little bit too soon for him.
Well, that's an area where you're trying to put traction down. You're desperate to get full speed through this, quadruple, whatever it is, right-hander. And we'll see a lot of that tonight. Fingers crossed not too much in the race, but yeah, in quali these boys are going to be pushing it to the limit.
The save is invalidated. Confetti's not on a lap. Slayer seems to be quite massively up, so I think he's just started a lap, so we'll stay on board with him and see what he can do.
It's also a bit of how much curb you take through here, how much you dare. Yeah, that was a clever cut through there. It's... Well, you were saying earlier, I saw how much of his sausage curb you're taking. You want to use those orange sausage curbs as a guide, but for me, I never want to go over them, because I know that's the perfect way to unsettle the car, and then you've got nothing when I've put my foot down to try and get any traction out the corner. I've got a little bit deep there. We're okay.
Well, he's 4/10 up, so I wonder if he lost a lot of his time in the final sector. Oh!
Yeah, whoa!
That's like a carbon copy of Agoni.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to stop following people, because I'm literally commentator's curse. Everybody are watching that section spins. Bergen's on intermediates, so
bold strategy.
Not sure what to think of that strategy. Let's see what Confetti can do.
He was half a second up, I think, so we should see an improvement. He should hopefully be starting to challenge those Damalek times now.
I think I managed to join him after that section where everybody spins, so we're good. 3 minutes left, so I reckon a lot of people are going to start piling out the pits shortly. 35.2, so 8/10 improvement.
Yeah, excellent.
Ants had a spin. It's Nick on a lap. See, he's almost at the next end of the next sector, so this has been a bit of a quiet one tonight. He's 1.5 seconds down. I don't think he's going to recover that.
It's going to have to be a hell of a final sector if he's going to recover that, I think.
Yeah, I don't even think he's trying, to be fair. Mr. Bailey's been a bit quiet, putting himself up in 10th there.
Yeah, he went pole right at the start. I think he's just about to start a lap now.
Yeah, let's watch a lap of the Willy boy, as he likes to call himself. He's obsessed with that Williams.
He is, yeah. It's not a bad car. I know people don't like the steering wheel. It's got that funny steering wheel where you've got the dash is actually not on the wheel itself, but hey, I think it's when you're racing in these, it's the quickest you'll ever see a Williams go. So if you're a fan of the brand, then yeah, why wouldn't you drive it and try and put it back in its rightful place at the top of the pack?
Yeah, I mean, I struggle because I race cockpit, and I use the screen on the steering wheel, as well as the screen on my steering wheel that give me different information. So it's not much good to me. But if you don't race in cockpit, then it's not really an issue. So my first season was in Williams.
I mean, you're just swearing the whole time as you were like, I can't use this damn screen.
I was TV pod at that point, so it didn't bother me.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Well, Laurentio's just retired.
That's a shame. Really pushing it.
Looks like coming up to turn 1.
That's an odd place to lose it, yeah.
I'm just thinking that. Not often you see that happen. Let's see what Mr. Bailey can do anyway.
That's very clean through there.
He's a very, very quick driver. I think he just struggles with consistency sometimes. 34.4.
Excellent. Made a load of time up in that last sector. He was barely a fraction of a second up after 1 and 2, but yeah, P7's a very respectable time.
Oh, the front lot seem to be invalidated. Barring for Chatty Duck, who don't really seem to be on a lap as such.
There's Kid on a lap as well. I think Kid's just started one.
Let's watch the champion then. Well, defending champion, I should say. I think he'd love to be champion again.
I'm just so glad he got one. He's a driver who's been very, very quick for a long time and maybe struggle a little bit with consistency. So to see him finally put it over the line and get his championship was, really excellent. And let's see if he can carry on that good form.
He's been wanting that Ferrari for seasons on end, but the champions always choose the Ferrari in Tier 1. So J. Sarge hogged it for a few seasons, then Saviour had it. I mean, it's two drivers that are that quick, he couldn't put them together.
Yeah.
But he's finally won the championship, he's finally got his Ferrari.
Yeah. And you look at some of the lines Kid is taking here, there's the way he straddles those curbs, they're sort of esports lines. You wouldn't dare take them in real life. You'd unsettle the car, but what's the matter if your tyres aren't on the curb? If you're driving, if your nose is just over them, then yeah, who cares? And using every inch of the track to gain what little advantage he can. And let's see, how much has he got to make up? He's got to make up 0.2 of a second to try and beat Chatty Duck. Can he do a little twitch there? Oh, is that going to cost him?
He's invalidated.
Oh, he's invalidated. Oh, that twitch was just enough because the lap was a 1:33.741, which is, I reckon, without that twitch, it would have been very, very close. A shame, but front of the grid, and yeah, the Kid doesn't waste those opportunities.
I think personally, if he had the time to practice, he could be in esports.
He's another level. Let's put it that way.
He's a really, really fast driver. If he had the time to make himself super, super consistent,
yeah,
I think he'd be up there. Because on a good day, he's a different level to the rest of the league.
Yeah.
That 100% of it, Silverstone proved it when he started last. and he passed J Sarge on the final lap.
Yeah.
And J Sarge is no slouch.
Yeah, it's always been there.
Oh, we're going. He's got a 5-position grid penalty, unfortunately.
It's a shame.
So we've got Chatty Duck on pole, Kid Dynamite second, SW third, Reese fourth, J Sarge fifth, Erapel sixth, Chris Bailey seventh, LRL eighth, Agoni ninth, but he'll go to 14th, Francie 5 10th, Nick BT 11th, Anton 12th, Saviour 13th, Confetti Creek 14th, Laurentia 15th, Damalek 16th, Red Car Rambo 17th, Slayer 18th, Bergen 19th on intermediates. He's also got a 5-place grid penalty, so he'll start P20. And G-Star is P20, but it'll go to P19. Any predictions?
Oh, well, we've just been talking up Kid. I think if Kid can get away at the start, then it's, it might be game over. The other prediction, I'm really interested to see what strategy breaks down. We saw a mixture between the 1-stop and the 2-stop, and I think in that first race, Tier 2, it proved that the 1-stop was far better, even with that safety car. The only person who made that 2-stop work was Bit, who pitted on softs when the first safety car came out, and he could have caught up with the lead right at the end. So, let's see how the strategies go, let's see how it plays out. But, I think Kid is as always, is one to watch in this race.
Yeah, he always is. Although Chatty Duck seems to be a little bit quick on this one as well. There we go, just away on the formation lap. Let's have a look at tyres. So LRL and Bergen have gone for the softs. Erapel and Chris Bailey are disqualified already, both on mediums. So Chatty Duck hards, J Sarge hards, Nick BT hard, Saviour Confetti Creek both hard, Laurentia hard, Slayer hard, and then we've got Kid Dynamite, SW, Reese, Erapel, Chris Bailey, Francie 5, Anton, Agoni, Damalek, Red Car Rambo and G-Star all on mediums.
So it's not bad. I'm interested to see that Chatty Duck's starting on hard. He's sort of nailing his colours to the mast there and saying, yep, I'm definitely doing a 1-stop. I don't know if you could do hard soft, but that seems to be taking one of those tyres a bit longer than it should. Those soft runners are clearly going for a 2-stop, and then those mediums, that's where I like starting on a medium round here because you can adapt a safety car about lap 11. You can chuck the car in and go for a medium soft to the end and know that you've got a free pit stop and you're going to be quicker than those around you. Let's see what those on the medium do. I think that we could see a mixture of strategies through the field with that one. SW as well is I didn't see that he was third, but he's another driver you can never rule out. They're all lightning quick here, but yeah.
Oh, they really are.
The other thing that's be interesting to see, those hard runners, those medium runners will want to get at least a second ahead. Those hards will.
Chatty Duck's lost it on the formation.
Done it, Shuey, just going around. Those hard runners, if you can get behind medium runners and just keep in the DRS, you feel like you're in a really good position because you haven't lost that much time on the hard tyre.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I found the hards to be a bit awful in practice. That's why I went medium, soft.
Oh, they are, yeah, no doubt. Particularly through those S's, it's hard to keep it clean. But if you can keep at least within a second through those S's, then once you're in those DRS zones, you make all that time back up again. And it doesn't feel like the mediums are getting away from you.
Go. Oh, Chatty Duck missed his box a bit. We're trying to make his way back through and I guess overshot just a bit.
It's tough, isn't it? But...
Are we all lined up? A few missing the boxes, but it does happen. Because you try and position yourself in such a way that you get a good launch and it just don't work for you. There we go, 5 red lights. And Tier 1 are underway. Chatty Duck seems to have had a good start. What about Kid? Give me a better camera angle than this nose cam. Kid Dynamite's had a great start. Looks like he's taken the position into turn 1, but he's also Oh, we're 3 wide into turn 2. Kid spun.
Oh, Kid's gone. Commentator's curse, isn't it? I've done it again.
Reese is out front with quite a decent gap at the moment. Chatty Duck second, J Sarge third, Everpelt fourth. That's a shame for Kid Dynamite. He's gone P2 to P19. But we all know he loves the last to first, so I reckon he'll make his way back yet. Yeah, Reese is gone. 2-second advantage over Chatty Duck already. And he's got J Sarge to answer at the moment as Chatty Duck.
Yeah, he's on the mediums. Remember, we got 2 laps without DRS here, so Reese will really want to put his foot down and make sure he can make the most of no DRS and see how much he can drag that gap out for.
Oh, he really will. I mean, he's got the gap away at the moment, so he's quite happily sitting there comfortable in first at the moment. But he needs to break away slightly to make the mediums work, especially if he's going for the 2-stop option. Yeah, I thought that. Oh, gee, that camera was awful. The stream was literally sat on the nose cam. So it's
such
like,
a shame.
all I'm seeing is nose cam. It's like, where's everybody else doing? So look, have we got any good battles up and down the field? LRL's making moves, putting them softs to good work.
Oh, he just lost the rear end there, and I wonder if Le Rappel's got a bit of a run him in down into turn 1.
Rappel's going to have the inside line, although the inside line isn't always ideal there.
No, I find the inside line's quite good to defend. You see a lot of people maybe trying to do the switchback. That call number 1 is you take your life into your own hands, and you really got to trust the driver side by side with you, because it's very easy for both of you to have a little tap, and it's ruined both your races.
Yeah, turn 1 here is really not fun because it's so blind. You don't see the apex till you're on top of it. Like coming up the hill, you just spot your braking point, brake, turn in and hope you're gonna hit that apex.
Precisely, yeah, every time it's just turn it and hope, and oh yeah, made it this time, okay, I survived.
Especially when you're in cockpit view, because you sat so low down.
Yeah, no, that's why I can't do cockpit view. I would be rubbish.
It does bite you sometimes, but I love the immersive side of it.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of different ways that you can play the game. And oh, let's have a look at the back. Red car making a move. That's Craig. That's excellent. Into a corner just off the DRS.
Oh, that's before we even get the DRS as well. It's going to activate end of this lap. Reese has pulled a 3.7 second gap. J Sarge just spun by the looks of it.
Yeah. That's such a shame. I know he said he was struggling under traction control on this, and it's on those hards, heavy fuel through that technical section. That's just a shame that it's happened there. Clearly
went a little bit too heavy on his pedal that time. It's so easy to do when you're used to drive with traction control. I mean, I don't even think about it now. I just put my foot down and car goes. And then if I turn traction off for a practice session, just to see how I get on with it, and I'm like, yeah, I'll think about it for a couple of laps, and then I get into a groove and I'm like, oh, okay, oh no, I just put my foot down like I've got traction and I'm spinning.
It is faster if you can get the hang of it, but for somebody like J Sarge who'll be used to just putting his foot down and the car letting him go, he'll just feel a little bit slower until you've mastered it, and it's something you just got to stick at. So yeah, if he's struggling this season, that's okay. You take it as a learning curve, you take it as a learning season, and you know J Sarge is good enough to be back at the front again. He was, he was right near the top on hards, top 3 before he spun. So yeah, he'll get that consistency back, and then you'll see him fighting for those podiums again.
Oh, he certainly will. We all know he's going to be back up the front at some point. It's only a matter of time. Looks like LRL's and Nick are having a right battle.
Yeah, softs versus the hards there, keeping it very clean. The two of them are going side by side through this section. Let's see if LRL...
He's just using that traction advantage on the softs.
Yeah, the softs, you can put your foot to the floor and you're not going to lose the back end. On those hards, you're going to be way more tentative and you're going to lift off the throttle a bit more. So yeah, I think that tyre difference really played into LRL's hands there.
He's now going to have Erapel to answer to as well. A bit of a DRS train going on. Let's have a look at positions gained, because Bergen is up 11 positions already.
Wow.
I mean, this guy started on back row. Is now in P9. I know the softs are good, but are they worth 11 positions?
Well, if you're going for the two-stop and you can cut your way through the field, then yes, at least you're not... The one thing you don't want to do on the softs is pick them and then be stuck in 19th because you can't overtake anyone. So clearly he's making that advantage tell, which is what you want to do. He'll really be looking for Chris Bailey up the road now and be trying to get into that other DRS train, because he's sort of halfway between Chris Bailey and Saviour there with no DRS for anybody.
The question is, will Chris play the team game and let him go?
I think Chris will have to. I think when your teammates, you do everything to help your teammate out, no matter if it slightly compromises your race. Only slightly. That's what I would do. I would make sure that my fellow drivers got a little bit more.
I mean, I know they party together and they're really good friends, so I reckon they'll work together on this.
Oh, yes. Yeah, it's very, very sensible to do that.
I mean, they both keep wanting the Williams to get... So they obviously want to be together.
Yep.
It's a dynamic that works, so... Who's that that's just spun? LRL.
Oh, LRL's gone. Oh, that's such a shame.
Only 3 laps into the softs as well. See, starting on softs, they do deteriorate very fast. Who's that?
Yeah.
Is that Nick BT as well? Coming out of the last corner, he's had a moment. It's really not a good day for the Ferrari boys.
Well, no, and it seems to be a bit of a race of attrition here. I mean, we've not lost anybody, but if you can keep the car on the track between the white lines and not spin it, then you're in with a chance. And yeah, somebody who's doing that to very good effect there is Reese Whitcomb. We were talking about making a gap up top. It's gone from 2 seconds to 4.5 now. He's really making those mediums work in that early stint.
I think I just saw Jay Sarge putting a move onto Red Car Rambo into turn 1. So he's trying to claw his way back. Kid Dynamite's back up to 11th.
Yep.
So he'll be putting the hammer down and really just getting on with it now.
Yeah, it'll be fun to see those two a little bit out of position. It's like when you see Hamilton or Verstappen down in 10th for whatever reason, and then you go, oh yes, let's see how they cut their way through the field.
Yeah, they're just a class on their own, really, aren't they? But no disrespect to Jay Sarge, though. I think Kid Dynamite's got it a little bit at the moment because he's used to the no traction. Giving the traction back, though, Jay Sarge is a machine. Oh, and
Whoa.
Kid's just spun again. Went for a move down the inside of Ant and it just didn't work out for him.
Yeah, a little ambitious through there, I think. That's my personal one. You've got to really want to be really alongside the car there if you want to be demanded the space. But yeah, I'm sure that will go to the stewards and I'll have a proper look at that. I just call it as I see it.
Yep. Come on, kid. You know it's not... The race ain't going to be won on lap 6. You've plenty of time to battle your way back.
Yeah.
Oh, Francie 5 and SW getting... Oh, that's a switcheroo. Can he make it stick into turn 2? Round the outside. He's gonna. And he's ahead into turn 3.
Gosh.
That's well defended, is that? Because SW had the DRS run on him, but he's done the switcheroo and got him back.
Yeah, it's excellent through there. And once you're into the S's, boy, you don't want to be going side by side with anybody through the S's. So it's a bit of a game of chicken. See who will pull out. I think maybe SW's done the best thing there and said, right, regroup. I've got another DRS zone coming up. Can I get him down into this section here?
Oh, I think Jay Sarge has had a moment again.
That's a shame.
Just see his name tumbling down. But yeah, speaking of the chicken game into the S section, I think we did that on lap 1.
We did, yes.
And I just went, no, this ain't happening.
Yep. Ooh. Little twitch from Francie 5 there, who was done really well actually. That second DRS section that you've got, not the first one up the pit straight, but the other one, it's all about how much traction you can get out of that first corner. Because I've seen people who, even when they're in DRS, if they don't have the traction, the other car in front of them zooms up the road. So, yeah, those are your two main overtaking spaces, and if that one's rubbish, then you're got to take your life into your own hands if you're going down into turn 1, which is a place I'm simply not brave enough to attempt an overtake.
Oh, Ant's just lost it at the penultimate corner and broke his end plate off his wing.
Oh, that's a shame.
At least he's right near the pit entry, though, if you want.
Yeah.
Well, he's having a bit of a moment trying to get his car right again.
Very warm tyres. Oh, decides to stay out. Obviously doesn't think the damage is that bad.
Might rule that as it starts to get round the lap though. So J Sarge's pitted, Bergen's pitted, and LRL's been in the pits after his spin a few laps ago, so no more soft runners.
Yeah, and it's a new front wing for J Sarge as well. Whatever the last little incident was, cost him a little bit of front end plate maybe, so he'll be behind. But
I believe he was on the hards.
Yeah,
So you can go on.
No, I was just going to say he'll be hoping for a safety car now to try and catch the rest of the pack, because he is quite a way behind LRL in 18th now.
There's plenty of time yet, but the Genie doesn't want a safety car, so he might just have to fight back the old-fashioned way.
Safety cars make races exciting, I understand, but it's the one thing I dread with 5 laps to go. I'm always looking at the lap counter, please no safety car. Basically, I'm rubbish on softs, but I'm far better on worn mediums or worn hards. That's when I get consistent pace in, so yeah, that's my selfish reason for not wanting a safety car, and it really rewards those consistent drivers, people like Reese Whitcomb, who have, pulled out that 4-second gap at the front. You want to see if he can make that strategy work, rather than have people roll the dice right at the end, just chuck a pair of softs on and it turns into a 5-lapper.
Yeah, I really don't think the softs work that well on this game.
No, they are a good. Last 5 laps is all they are good for, aren't they? Really. Other than that, they just chew through, and after 5 laps, you feel like you're a sitting duck. You've just simply got no traction whatsoever.
Yeah, they're just not a good race tyre. Whereas on the last game, they were quite a good race tyre.
Yeah, they've only got really.
You avoided the hards at all costs on the last game.
Yeah. The hards have a use now, and you can take them really, really long, particularly if you lower the tyre pressures. Just having a look at who the main hard runners are at the moment. Chatty Duck in second is doing excellent to keep that gap to around about. We said about a couple of laps ago, Reese had got it up to 4.5. That gap has stabilised now. The other one to look out for is Saviour in 8th place, who's had another. Talk about good drivers and quick drivers. Saviour is certainly quick, but he lives and dies on his consistency, and he's so consistent, and he's showing that again tonight, keeping those no spins, no incidents, just a quiet, steady race in 8th, and as soon as those medium runners pit, he'll be up the field and he'll be able to, try and make that advantage count.
Yeah, I mean, Saviour's just consistency is on another level, and he's another cockpit racer, but I believe he races with the halo post on as well.
That's insane. That's just silly.
How do you see past it?
I would like to make this even more difficult for myself, please. Yeah, cheers.
I don't think he realised you could remove it.
He just got used to it now.
Yeah, he's used to it. He don't even realise it's there. I'm like, how? I have that there. It's like I can't see the car in front of me. I misjudged my braking and all sorts. But yeah, he is insanely consistent, his Saviour.
And another thing I'd like to praise these Tier 1 boys for, 9 laps, only 2 drivers with any form of penalty at the moment, showing that people are being really good at keeping it between the white lines. That was a big worry for me before this race, is that we'd see a lot of penalties. But
we've got 3, Nick BT, Confetti Krieg and Slayer all on 3
and
seconds.
Slayer, I didn't see Slayer down at the bottom.
I think he's having a bit of a shocker with Slayer, unfortunately.
It happens, and this is a track where things can go wrong very, very quickly, isn't it? It's just, if you don't find the flow, it's a nightmare.
It's one of the tracks I really wasn't looking forward to.
I think you're not alone there. There's a lot of people who are... There's just so many more fun tracks, isn't there? There's enjoyable ones that you go, yes, I feel I can really thrash my car around here, and I'm confident. This one's just no confidence at all. I feel the car's always on edge. I feel like I can lose it at any second, and goodness me. There was another one where I looked at the lap counter and just said, this has too many laps. Please call the race at around about lap 24, I was thinking. Over in Denver.
You're looking forward to the next one then? The good old Interlagos.
Interlagos is... Now there's a circuit. I really hope there's chance I might not be able to race, but I really hope that I can do it there. That's possibly my favourite track in the game. Yeah, that's it's got a perfect balance for me as a racetrack, and even in real life you see it, don't you? That's a track that offers up great racing, great overtaking opportunities. So
yeah, I'm really looking forward to watching it at the weekend.
yes, yeah.
Sprint format again as well.
Ooh, Hamilton start P20 and see how he goes.
Maybe not this year in the triangle, but
Yeah.
maybe they should make Max start P20 and see if he can do the same.
Yes.
I mean, he started P10 were at Spa and he was in P1 by about lap 14.
You know who I've officially cursed? Because I was just popping through the field, I just went on board with Kid Dynamite, and unfortunately he's just gone round.
Oh no. Commentator's curse strikes again.
Yeah. Lost a bit of his front wing as well. I think he was just caught up in that train behind Confetti Craig, I think it was, or maybe it was Saviour. He was just caught behind the hard runners trying to push through, and yeah, no dice, I'm afraid. Might be forced to switch to a two-stop, go medium, soft at the end.
Never mind. Got a bit of a train going on with Francie 5 SW and Erapel. Gun is all over the back of Saviour. I think they're having a bit of a ding-dong going on. I wonder if we ask him nicely, could he draw us a picture of that Aston Martin diffuser?
I think something went on between the two of them, because I think Saviour's just given that place back to Agoni.
Yeah, it looks like... Oh, we had a bit of a moment and just...
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll find out at some point. Let's go down and have a look at the back. J Sargent P19 is so weird. You used to seeing him like top 5 or P1, but
Yeah.
never really P19. Kid's just pitted for hards. I think he's just had a new nose as well.
Yeah. J Sarge will still be putting the laps in, and particularly when you get things like J Sarge in 18th, Kid Dynamite in 19th, they want to have that battle between yourselves. You pick your fights on track, don't you? So those two have got it all to play for.
Sometimes I prefer to pick not to fight and just go. Like, leave me alone. I just want to drive. But it doesn't always work out like that.
So what, we're on lap 11 now, the leader. Now we're going to see whether we get the two stoppers in now on the mediums. Do they stick? If you're going to pit round about lap 11, you go lap 11, lap 11. Sorry, 11 laps on the mediums, another 11 laps, and then 6 on the softs. Or you can stretch them to about lap 13 and then do 15 laps on the hards. So, yeah, it'd be really interesting to see who's going to pit this lap and who isn't.
Yeah, let's keep an eye on that. I wonder if a lot of these are going to just do the medium hard strategy.
I think so, it looks that way.
Oh, Ogoni's in. Maybe he's rolling the dice on this strategy. Let's see what he puts on.
I think he's going on hards, isn't he? There are white lines on those. Yep.
That's a little bit early for the hards, but we'll see what
Early,
happens.
but not impossible.
Maybe he's gambling on a late safety car. Slayer's having an absolute shock of him. I think he's going to hate us for this no traction. I know how he feels though. I tried it in season 7 and I had a shocker as well.
No traction is just all about practice. If you don't have the hours to put in, the game is going to punish you, because yeah, it's one of those things. I don't know how everybody else practices. What I do is I just go on AI, against AI, go from the back of the grid, and then see how I do. And every time I spin, it's like, oh right, okay, I can lose it under traction there, and there, and there, and you build up something in your mind of all these places where you've got to be super careful on the throttle. And you slowly build that confidence up over time. But if you don't have time to practice, and this is the first time you're doing these laps, the circuit's going to bite back.
I think this circuit bites back anyway.
Yes. Yeah,
regardless of laps you've done.
Yeah, sometimes it does as well, and you just gotta accept that. But
SW and Erapel have just both dived in. See what they're going for. We've got a few. Fancy Fives joined them as well. Hards. What's SW going for?
Hards as well.
Fancy 5 hards. Damalek hards. I think they're all doing the medium hard then. Reese is just out front chilling. But the gap has come down a little bit, so I think the mediums are coming to end of the life and the hards are coming in now.
Yeah, those hards keep their pace for a long time. So I wonder how long Chatty Duck and Saviour and those guys will run the hards. The recommendation is that you run them 15 and then have 13 on the medium. But maybe if you can push them to 16, 17, you can really push the mediums for 11 laps. The mediums will do 11 laps and do them quickly. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if anybody tries the overcut or the undercut on the hards here.
Was it Calvin in Tier 2 that did hard to soft?
Yeah, he did, and as being somebody who ended up on the end of that battle, I know we had a hard runner in front. It was a little slower, but I don't know how quick those softs were at the end. Like you said, they can last about 6 laps, and then you're in real trouble. And yeah, particularly with no traction control. I know that he doesn't run with that. Yeah, so it's a real struggle towards the end of the race. Those tyres will feel like ice, and through those technical sections, again, we saw it in qualifying. Super easy to lose the back end.
So Reese has just pitted and he's going to make it out in front of Chris Bailey by the looks of it.
Oh, that's good. That's a nice little gap to filter out into.
So he's gone P1 to P2, and he's already pitted and he's on his way ready for the rest of the race now. He's looking like a good bet for the win.
Yeah, but don't rule Chatty Duck out. I'd be really interested to see what Chatty Duck does, as those hards will take a little while to warm up. You've got to go very tentative on your first lap on those, because they go absolutely horrible through those S's. Lost a ton of time when I switched the hards in my race, so I'll be feeling exactly the same now.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on what Chatty Duck can do now. If he can maintain the gap, not lose too much to Reese, he's going for the mediums, like say maybe 15, 16 laps.
Yeah.
He's going to be a lot faster at the end on the mediums, so yeah, I think he is a good call for it as well. It definitely looks to be between them two anyway. They're in a league of their own today.
Yeah, it's been very, very impressive between the two of them, and again, we've talked about how important consistency is. They've been consistently quick, and that's what's helped them pull away. Look at the gap between Chatty Duck and the other nearest hard runner who's gone from the stops, Saviour. That gap's what, about 20 seconds easily. So
yeah, about 22, I believe.
Yeah, he's got
Chris
a pit
Bailey's
stop in
just
hand.
pitted. Let's have a look. To leader, 22.7 seconds.
Yeah. So easily within, he's got a free pit stop there to the other hard runner, which is insanely good. See where Chris Bailey filters out into all of this. He'll want to be in front of SW and La Rappel if he can help it, but those two have just zoomed past, haven't they?
Yep, he's going to pop out just behind them two. Staying just ahead of his teammate.
Yep.
Although it might be worth letting his teammate go while he warms up, because his teammate's on mediums anyway. He's not going to make it to the end most likely.
Yeah, that might be a good strategy. I mean, what Chris will want to do is he'll want to get on the end of that DRS train with SW and La Rappel, who are having a real ding dong. If he can join up with them, then he knows at the end he's got those fresher hards, 2 laps fresh. That might be the difference in that battle.
I mean, if he lets his teammate go past, he can pull the DRS off his teammate anyway.
Yeah, precisely.
Well, Bergen's just got a little bit leery coming out of the hairpin, but he's going to have DRS down the straight by the looks of it. Don't seem to have the straight line speed though. He's gaining, but not massively.
We talk about dive bombs. It's very tempting sometimes to go down go for a big one there, but if you've got teammates, I think that's sensible. Oh, La Rappel's past SW there, I believe. These two have gone through that technical section, and he's taken it. But this is the battle one of the best battles on track at the moment, I feel, between these two.
Rappel is a very fast driver on his day. I mean, not MRC ex-champion for nothing.
And again, another very consistent.
And he missed quite a few races as well. That's the mad thing. Because
To the wins.
I know for Tier 1 he generally can only race every other week at the moment because of work. But when he does race, he tends to be up there a lot.
Yeah. Imagine what he could do. Imagine the power he could have if he was racing every week.
I think if he can, once he gets to racing every week, or like 2 out of 3, he's going to be quite dangerous for the championship. Oh, was that a spin there?
Oh, that's Nick BT. Don't know if there was a coming together between him and Confetti Craig, but yeah, those are the two hard runners going a little bit longer. And yeah, he's just lost it through those S's at some point. Le Rappel and SW right on the back of some Confetti Craig and some very old hards. Speed difference will be very different. Let's see what Le Rappel can do if he's going to go for the move. He is, you know.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a fairly easy pass for him.
Yeah.
Sometimes you better just not fight in it.
Yeah. And this is really played into his hands because he'll want Confetti Craig on that 15-lap-old hards to hold up SW for as long as possible. It looks like SW's got past.
Chatty Duck's pitted. Let's see where he comes. He's going to come out behind Reese, but where is he going to come out relative? What's the gap actually going to be? Well, like you say, he's cleared Sabia, who's now in the pits anyway.
Yeah.
He's less than 6 seconds behind on fresh mediums.
Yeah, and he's taken those hards, 16 laps? So he's got 12 on the mediums, which isn't bad. That's one fewer lap than you'd expect. And he's super quick. So, yeah, both of them will be watching that delta now. Reese is going to have to accept that it's going to come down just a little, but he'll want to limit that to about 2-3 tenths a lap. Yeah, because if it starts to get into like the half a second a lap territory, then he is in big danger.
Yeah. What else have we got going on? Kid's having a bit of a shocker. He's still down in 15th.
Yeah, I think they're building their way up through the field now.
It's not something you often see from Kid Dynamite P15.
Yeah.
Jess Adge is making moves though. He's back up to P13.
Yeah, that's the sort of recovery you want to see. He's probably got another pit stop in him. He's definitely got to go on another set of mediums, whereas Kid can go to the end on those hards. Yeah, it doesn't mean he's out of it entirely.
Bergen and Nick having a little bit of a battle coming into the final sector.
Yeah, both of those have got to pit again, and Francie 5 will just be all over the back. Oh,
Nick's just lost it.
Yeah, I think those hards are done. I think it's time to get a new pair of boots on.
And Francie 5 clipped him and lost his end plate.
Oh, that's such a shame. That's so unfortunate. There was no... Yeah, that wasn't Francie 5. There was nothing he could do there. And yeah, he dips into the pits.
I saw flying carbon fibre. I just went to check and it was like, no. I hope he's got a set of mediums on standby. Because softs probably will not make it to the end at this point. What's he putting on? It is the mediums, so he had a fresh set. Probably going to feel a lot better for him than the hards, to be fair.
Yeah, and that's such a... They've just added it in, haven't they, in a recent update, that you can have 2 sets of mediums. And I think it really changes the game for the better. Because before, I swear I only had 1 set of mediums, and it messed up a lot of my strategy calls or what you could do. You were forced to go soft,
you had
medium, hard.
1 set of mediums, 1 set of hards, and whatever softs you carried over from qualifying.
Yeah, and it was just, you were really limited in your options, particularly in the 50%. I think adding the 2 sets of mediums makes a 2-stop a viable option, or gives you a little bit more flexibility when you're, oh, okay, I'm stuck in a position like Francie 5 was there, no fault of his own, has to go in and pit. I'd rather put on a fresh pair of mediums than the hards. It's a no-brainer. So, yeah, an improvement to the game. Thank you, Codemasters. Oh, fastest lap from Chatty Duck. Look at that interval
and
now.
He's taken 2 seconds out of him as well.
Yeah, I was saying a half a second a lap he's going to be worried. 2 seconds, boy.
He's on a mission.
Yeah.
Has Chatty Duck actually won a race with us? I don't think he has yet.
I don't think he has, but perfect opportunity now. Particularly, he'll be praying that we don't see any safety car, because he's got such a long gap between him and Le Rappel. It really is a two-horse race out the front now.
Because he was a reserve with us last season and he was reliable, so we gave him a seat this season. Could we be on for Neville's first win?
There's always a chance. And again, he's one of those drivers who deserves it. Where was he? Put it on pole as well. That sort of drive without a safety car, to have such control over the race, it's just very impressive. But hey, he's got to. We're talking like he's won it already. He's got
to get past Reese first.
Precisely, yeah. And catching is one thing, passing is another. Particularly around here, where you've only really got two places you can do it safely.
Well, he's got 9 laps, I believe, to make it happen. And it looks like it's taken nearly another second out of him yet. So now for Romeo, just having a spin in the background on that shot. I think it might have been the Slayer, unfortunately. It was a bit of an unusual shot where you could see up the hill and just see a car having a bit of a moment. See what else have we got going on. Bergen and Agoni are quite close together. Bergen is probably going to have to pit though soon. I reckon he's going to hold out for the softs.
Yeah, I think that's the best option. I think maybe those mediums have 1-2 more laps in there. We've said that softs are good for about 6. Maybe he can push them to 7. Confetti Craig in 10th is one who's trying to make the hard too soft strategy work. So it'll be interesting to see how quick he is at the end.
Well, I think we're going to have to go back up front shortly. Chatty Duck is less than 1.3 behind.
Yeah, that's really come down, hasn't he? And you can just see the extra bit of traction he has coming out of those corners. He'll be, lining this up, and it doesn't seem that the mediums are much drop off. Hey, say that again. Talking about how good Jay Sarge is around here. I know he's been unfortunate with losing it under traction a couple of times, but he can still just pop in a fastest lap, just like that, on a fresh pair of mediums. He's quick.
Probably listening to the stream and going, they've not spoken about me for a while, so I'm just going to get their attention.
Yes.
So there you go, you can have a bit of screen time and you've just had the fastest lap. You're happy now, ex-coach. It's the only downside to moving up a tier. I lost my coach.
It's a shame. He's still quick, mate.
Because the coaches are for obviously 3 and 4. Never mind. I mainly only had the coach to help me with setups anyway.
Yeah. I think there's an awful lot you can learn just by... I learn an awful lot just by watching these Tier 1 guys. The lines that they take, the confidence they have. Sometimes that's all you need. Just somebody who they know what they're doing. And they can just point you in the right direction.
And Chatty Duck is less than a second. He's nearly half a second behind. Yeah. This is going to be tense coming into this DRS zone.
Got to feel ominous for Reese there. What can he do? Is he powerless? How much ERS has he got saved up? Has he known this moment has come for a while, so he's going to defend hard? But he's got to defend hard for 8 laps. So yeah, that'd be a mammoth effort from Reese here, but
he's on the ERS. He's really dumping it now. But Chatty Duck's doing the same, but he's also got the rear wing wide open. Reese is trying to defend, but it's a bit of a done deal there.
Yeah, gets it perfectly there. Keeps it within the white lines. Excellent overtake. And yeah, let's just see if... It's all about, can Reese stay with Chatty Duck and trying to put the pressure back on these 7 laps. Sometimes, when you've done the pass, you've got to get up the road. Otherwise, you can really feel the pressure coming from behind you.
Yeah, you can't get complacent. You've got to remember there's still DRS. If you don't get out of the second...
Yeah,
that person's having a run back on you.
Yeah, precisely.
Which I think is about what's going to happen down the pit straight. He's going to have DRS at least on this straight. A bit far back to make anything happen though, but it'll close it back up.
I think both are jumping their overtake as well, because Chatty Duck seems to extend his difference. And yeah, now 1 DRS, just extended that to over a second now, so... He'll be hoping that he's gone.
Let's go have a look at Bergen, who's just pitted for the fresh softs, like as we called. We knew it was coming. See what he can do with them now. Can he make his way back into the points?
Yeah, I think he's got a good chance of the time difference here. He'll be aiming for P10, and I don't think that's entirely out of the question, particularly P11.
A 5-second penalty is not going to help him, though, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's a shame.
I think it was a speeding in the pit lane one as well.
Those are always gut punches.
It's not the best luck with the 5-place grid penalty as well.
No.
I wouldn't rule him out for points, though.
Oh yeah, precisely. Yeah, it only takes one person to have a little bit of a moment up top, and we'll see the difference between those 1 lap old softs and 8 lap old hards. It'll be quite significant at the start, I feel.
I mean, he's not far off the zone of jumping confetti Krieger, so the penalties anyway. Kid Dynamite's had a moment and no front wing.
It just hasn't been his race today, has it?
No, it really hasn't. It's like he's had a disconnect or something because he's not really in control of his vehicle.
Yeah, fingers crossed he can get control of his vehicle. We don't want a late safety car if we can help it. I know there'll be a few driving who'll think very differently.
I bet Chatty Duck's not wanting a safety car. He's built that gap up to nearly 2.5 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
Although Repel's probably thinking, I want a safety car.
Boy.
Closing back up a little bit.
I think we just missed it, but Bergen making an excellent move on G-Star Snipes there, showing all the difference he had between the traction with those old hards and those new softs.
Bergen's another one that dumped the traction control a while ago, and he just seems to have excelled with it.
Yeah, if you can master it, again, it is quicker. You can manually apply your throttle through the corners. You can give it a little bit more than that traction control will allow, but of course you get it too much. That's how things get messy when you start wobbling your rear end all over the place, and nobody wants to see that.
It's worse in the wet, I think.
I think traction control in the wet is a actual huge advantage because you've got to be so tentative on the throttle. It's so easy to lose anything. But I don't think we're going to have any rain today. I think we're set for fair for the rest of this race.
Yeah, there's no dark clouds or anything, so it'd have to be an absolute downpour out of nowhere. Yeah, I think we're safe to say that Dynamite's retired. Looks like a pit lane.
I think he's had enough.
It's a shame to see. It's not often that happens. Everybody's quite spread out at the moment. Let's go look at Chris Bailey. He's catching Saviour.
I think Saviour's been we were talking about him doing a really smart race. You have some races which you go into and you're like, right, I've kind of got the pace. I'm not quite sure. And even though he hasn't had the pace of those up top, he's done as we said, a really consistent race. Started on the hards, went on the mediums, and he's just slowly reeled Chris Bailey in. And I think he's got him just recently. So, yeah, he's got a pretty nailed-on 5th place now. I don't think he's got the pace to quite make it up to SW at the top. SW's what penalty has he got?
3 seconds, so he doesn't actually need to.
Yeah.
So he's probably about a nailed-on 4th.
Yeah. No, that's not bad. He can push a little bit, but keep it consistent and know that he's probably got that 4th place also now.
Red car's... Oh, it looks like he's had a moment. And that's a safety car.
That's a safety car. Oh my goodness me.
That's some jeopardy.
What's Chatty Duck going to do? Dipping into the pits. Yeah, probably the right move because you know everybody behind. None of those hard runners are going to stay on softs, are they? Are they going to stay on those?
See what Reese has dipped in.
Yeah.
We'll stick on board with their Repel because he's the next one coming round. He might as well dip in because he's not going to get track position on the front 2 anyway.
Yeah, I think the saving grace for those front 2 is there was such a large gap between them and 3rd place. They knew they had to pit, so if one pit, you had to go in anyway, and I don't know what use it would have been Reese to stay on those hards, so yeah, in for a blockbuster finish.
Probably a 2-lap shootout on the softs.
Yeah,
I would
think,
imagine nearly everybody's going to pit for the softs now. Seems a sensible option. Speaking of which, Saviour's stayed out.
Interesting. Well, maybe you say 2-lap shootout, no DRS. Possible. There's limited overtaking opportunities around here, and how skinny is that Aston Martin down the straight? Because you won't get that many laps of racing.
No, it's probably going to be 2 at best, I would have thought.
So I can totally see why every single hard runner would go into the pit. I think that's a no-brainer. But some of those medium runners, 8-lap mediums, they're not slow. They will be slower than the softs, but you're not going to be, too bad out of the corners. So yeah, I think that's Saviour rolling the dice, and he'll turn maybe a P4 into a P3, and it only takes something to happen up top, and maybe he gets the win.
Possibly. I guess we'll see what happens when we actually get back to racing.
Yeah, I think we're going to be out for a long time because we've still got Ant in the pits in his Red Bull. So it would take a long time for this field to bunch up now. We'd definitely maybe go and race in lap 27, I'd say.
It'll minimum give us 2 laps at least.
Yeah.
Because no matter what, it always does that, even if the field's 30 seconds between each other. You always get at least 2.
So yeah, if I was Ant, I would put the hammer down. We've got no lapped cars, have we? So that's one saving grace. Everybody has a roll of the dice now.
Just the Slayer.
Oh, that's a shame.
He's getting out of the way actually to let everybody past.
I think that's sensible. You never want to be that car. It's such a shame that this game doesn't allow you to unlap the safety car.
Yeah, the games never have they?
No, and they struggle with enough coding, so maybe there's an issue that it's far too complicated for us to understand. But it's frustrating, isn't it? I think even the lapped cars, as you see there, Saviour getting out of the way, they don't want to be part of the ruckus at the start. They don't want to be causing problems. You just want to get on with your own race and get to the back of the pack and be grateful that you're not a lap down anymore. So yeah, it's another one of these lovely quirks that Codemasters have added to the game. But at least the Slayer's taking matters into his own hands there and doing a sensible thing. So thank you.
I mean, it's got to be said, this is the most buggy game I think they've released in a while.
It's yeah. I mean, welcome to Games Under EA. I understand it's an annual franchise, and that comes with its own time pressures and considerations. And they've had to do an entirely new model of the physics this year, and that must be quite tough. But yes, I would like to see them. I would like to see them focus on the cars and getting rid of the bugs for next year. I'm not very bothered about having a new rug for my apartment that I never visit.
Yeah, same. I really don't get that F1 Life thing. Thing is, they put more into last year's game with the story mode. And yes, it had a few bugs to begin with, but it was less overall.
Yeah.
I feel like this game is far worse on the bugs.
Yes.
But here we go, safety cars coming in.
Cool.
I think you can finish what you were saying anyway. There's a few corners to go.
Yeah, no, just entirely agree with you there. I think I was just about to say that the safety car was in. Really interested to see how Chatty Duck deals with this safety car restart. Desperate to keep your tyres as warm as possible, and we've got, what was it, lap 26, so yeah, we'll have 2 laps of racing after this. So he's just got to keep it clean.
I think personally he needs to back it up quite a bit and go early when they're not going to expect it.
Yeah.
If he goes out the last corner, it's expected. I think he's just gone. Let's hope he don't get a throttle glitch though.
Oh. No, he's good.
Let's give Reese a bit of a run down towards turn 1. This helicopter cam was pretty good though. He seems to have avoided the jeopardy. Now all he's going to do is keep it pointing in the right direction for 2 laps.
Yep. And that's when those 2 up top will be really grateful that Saviour didn't pit, because he's going to back up the rest of the field, and I can see Larabelle all over the back of him now, desperate to get past and join the party up front. But Saviour's not having it.
I think he'll find a way past eventually, but Saviour's going to make him work for it. Oh, he's going for the inside. I think he's just got it done.
Bold into there, does force Saviour out onto the... there's no traction out there.
SW were trying to go around the outside as well.
Yeah.
But Chris Bailey's trying to go around him. It's all go down here.
Keep it clean, boys. Oh, goodness me. Well done, everyone.
They're not giving up. This 2-lap shootout's going to go on forever. SW's just got to repel, but they're having a right ding-dong. Repel's not giving up. Side by side into the triple right-hander. I think SW has emerged out on top.
Yeah, no shot on top, but he's that 3-second penalty, hasn't he? So maybe Larapel's just got to play the smart game, knows that even if he finishes behind SW, he's still a podium.
Chatted up, fastest lap. He's not giving it up.
Yeah, not holding anything back there.
Let's see what else is going on behind. Chris Bailey's trying to get back around Agoni, and he's made it work around the outside into turn 1. What a move.
Excellent move. Some guts through there.
Now he just needs to make his way past Saviour on the slower tyres.
Yep.
They're going to give us a right last lap to work with. When's he going to make his move though is the question. They're both dumping ERS like crazy.
Yeah, he's got no DRS through here, but he should have the traction out of the corner. And yeah, Saviour's going to position it on the inside. I think if you can get around the outside here, it's not bad. I don't want to dive around the inside because you've got the traction down the others. But blimey, where's Agoni come from? 3 into that corner. Whoa! All making it through safely.
That was very twitchy.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Saviour. He's just lost 2 positions.
And he's picked up a 3-second time penalty from somewhere. I'll be fuming at that. Game just letting him down.
What was it you said? That's a 2 for 1.
not in Mexico anymore, mate. But yeah, no, that was an excellent move.
Back to the leader. Chatted up round the final corner. Bit of a weave for us. Over the line and wins it. 9/10 of a second. Reese Whitcomb second, Erapel third, SW fourth with fastest lap. Chris Bailey gets 5th, Agoni 6th, Frantify 7th, LRL 8th, Saviour 9th. J Sarge picks himself up a point, so he's just proved keep it going. He got a bit unlucky at times, but he's done it. Laurentier 11th, Nick BT 12th, Confetti Krieg 13th, Damalek 14th, Anton 15th, Bergen 16th, G-Star 17th, and Slayer will be 18th. Not his best race, but he's getting used to the no traction. It'll come eventually. It's all about, like you say, practice, practice, practice.
Oh, totally. Who is your driver of the day then, after all that?
It's a really hard one, is that?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, personally, I think Chatty Duck has done amazing, but he's controlled the race so well. So I think he's definitely worthy of a good shout. Agoni's gone up 8 positions, so he's the biggest gainer in the race. I really don't know who to give it to on this one.
Well, I'm going to give it to Chatty Duck because it was textbook race, started on those hards, went into second, didn't panic, got the move done, knew he was going to come out behind Reese, reeled him in perfectly. If it wasn't that safety car, he would have been home dry. But then he had that challenge of the safety car, and he kept his cool. at no point did he really seem in danger of those last 2 laps. We weren't focusing on the battle between him and Reese because he just had it under control and he put the fastest lap in for good measure. So, yeah, I just think a complete performance from Chatty Duck, and congratulations on your first win in MRC.
Yeah, you know what, I'll go with it. I think we'll go Chatty Duck. Agoni did have a good one, and the game's giving him the driver of the day, but like you say, it's a maiden win. He's put it on pole, he's controlled the race, he's done well.
Yeah.
So Chatty Duck is driver of the day for Tier 1. And he gets to have a bit of a podium celebration and drunk off the champagne for good measure.
You always remember your first. Very nice.
Yeah, especially your first on track one.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So unfortunately my first came from not on track. So I kind of remember that one, but I actually remember the on track one more.
You deserve it, don't you?
Yeah, especially when I mean, it was a strategy call that did it for me, but a win's a win.
Exactly.
There we go. That's Tier 1 done for another week. So back on Wednesday for Tier 3 at 7 o'clock, Tier 4 at 8:45. So if you enjoy watching our races, obviously like, subscribe, ring the bell, and you'll get notified when we go live. We're also on Facebook and Instagram if you want to follow the socials. If you want to join the league, maybe join one of the socials and drop us a message. We'll get a link to you to get you in. Thank you, Rob, for joining me.
That's all right, no problem. Thanks for having me. It's been real good fun.
Always is. Nice, insightful chat as well.
Thanks very much.
Keeps us going after that hard race we just had.
Yeah, precisely.
But there we go. That's us done for another week. So thank you for joining us. Good night.